Amanda, you're going first.
Things changed.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Amanda Loeffler, and I am with the Lexwerx law firm. And today, I am honored to actually present our attorney, Paul Pereira. And I wanted to reintroduce him to you guys. Many of you guys know him, but some of you haven't had the opportunity to meet him. But while he was in this chapter, he did such a good job staying in his lane, so you guys had no idea he does what he does. So I wanted you guys to hear from him.
Hello again. So over the last few months, I've gotten a lot of feedback that says, you know, Paul was here, Lexwerx law firm was here, he was sitting in the estate planning seat. Now he's not here, it's Amanda, and now they're pitching business law. So what's going on? And I'm here to tell you that I'm just as confused as you are. No, actually, business law was always a core competency for Lexwerx. However, only the estate planning seat was available. I learned about B&I through my business coach, Juliet Kais, and joined and pitched the estate planning part. It is something, a service I provide, but it's not something that I'm no longer in that seat. Business law was always one of the main core competencies. So the mission is to provide effective legal advice and services that enable businesses to succeed. Why me instead of another law firm? I provide you with one-to-one personalized service. The clients benefit from over 30 years of experience as an attorney, certified public accountant. I've served as a chief legal officer and a chief financial officer in companies. Plus, I've senior military officer with experience at the Pentagon and overseas. So I have leadership experience. And as a combat veteran, there's a sweet spot in my heart for a veteran-owned business. You don't have to be a veteran-owned business. That's not a requirement, but if you are, you will benefit from a little bit more passion in helping you succeed. Next slide. So, services offered are outsourced general counsel. Best way to provide service or to explain is to tell you stories. So I have relationships with my clients. I meet with them maybe once a month. We go over, kind of like a business coach, we go over what their goals are legally, what they want to achieve, and then we set up tasks for the next 90 days, and then we try to achieve them. For example, I'll ask a question to two owners of a $10 million company, both relatively young, with young families, and I ask you guys have any wills in place? And they're like, no. What about your wives? No. What about, so there's nothing in place. Should something happen to one of them, I told them, you will be business partners with his spouse until everything gets resolved. So one of the examples that I have is addressing problems when they are brewing with clients. So again, another client received money from the federal government to buy a $10 million machine from a vendor, and they paid $5 million of that money to the vendor, and then the vendor came back and said, the machine's not going to do what the federal government wants it to do. And the vendors, the middleman, my clients, what are my responsibilities? How should I act? How should I address the federal government on this? What do I need to do now to prevent a future problem? Contract template reviews. A lot of my clients, and I know some of you in here are doing the same thing, to save some money on lawyers, so I'm going to download it from Zoom, right? So you use Zoom contracts, and then something goes wrong, and then you call the lawyer, and it's too late. So I will review your contract templates. If you are negotiating a contract before it gets signed, I'll review it, engage with the other party and their attorneys to help them avoid problems and stay ahead of it instead of when there's a breach and then there's a problem. Lawsuits. I have litigation experience. I have tried civil cases both as a plaintiff and as a defendant. I've tried cases as a prosecutor, tried a murder case, so I do have trial experience. But normally I will handle lawsuits that are small. If it gets too big, if it gets too complicated, if it's something like patent law litigation, trademark litigation, I'll refer it out to outside counsel, but I will maintain that relationship and keep on top of that case for my clients so they can be aware of it. Next slide, business exit plan. So I just explained one. A lot of you here own companies. A lot of you have partners. Some of you are sole proprietors. But what happens when you want to leave your company, whether you want to do it voluntarily or something happens like you get hit on by a bus on the way home from a B&I meeting. All of a sudden, people who depended on your income no longer have it. How are they going to survive? And a lot of your dependents and heirs don't know enough about your company to run it. And if you have a partner, guess what? 50% now belongs to those heirs, and they have just as much a say on how to run that business as you do. Moreover, it's going to be tied up in probate for at least 1 to 3, depending on the size and how much money is involved, 1 to 3 years, trying to figure out who owns it. If you want to buy their share, how much you got to pay for it, and it's going to be extremely expensive, and you're going to be in limbo. You can't do anything with the company during that time until everything is resolved. Also, other things we do is buy-sell agreements. So if something does happen to your partner, there's a life insurance policy that will pay your partner's heirs, and you will get to keep the company in exchange for that. Operating agreements, also a lot of businesses. You form an LLC, you form a corporation, you take your Zoom bylaws, you download them, you think that's it, that's all I have to do. Well, as you grow and become more complicated, those bylaws, those operating agreements need to address what happens to a key leader, what happens to the business if a key leader leaves or passes away, who gets to make certain decisions in certain cases. So that's another example of an exit plan. Next slide. Government contracts. If you do business with the federal government, good luck. Your business is just about to get 10 times more complicated than it is dealing business to business with people. There are regulations that apply. There's public policy that the federal government tries to push through its contracts, diversity in the workforce, paying certain types of level of wages. There's a lot of requiring certain insurances be available, and there's regulations such as the Federal Acquisition Regulation, the Defense Federal Acquisition Regulation Supplement, SOFARs, the Special Operation Federal Acquisition Regulation Supplement, ITARs, which is Sale of International Weapons and Arms, OFAC, which is dealing with sales, or the Office of Foreign Affairs, dealing with sales internationally. CMCC is new now. If you are a subcontractor for the federal government, you must have a certain level of cybersecurity on your computers. If you don't have that or maintain that, you may lose your contract. And now, GovCon law examples, dealing with service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. If you are a service-disabled veteran, you own a business, and you want to qualify for certain federal programs, your operating agreement or your bylaws have to be written up in a way that you have, and the term is, unfettered control over your business. Nobody else but that service-disabled veteran or veterans can make decisions on how your business is run day to day. CMCC, I was telling you, a lot of people oversee their compliance issues. You can get a contract, federal contract, there could be 100 requirements of compliance that could put you in jeopardy if you lose the contract. Next slide. Financial forensics, following the money. If somebody's stealing from you, or if you can't figure out, especially in estates or businesses where you think your partner is maybe not doing what they should be doing financially, help follow the money so we can present it in court. And that is money laundering is another example of the financial forensics that I've also done in the past and can do now. And contested probate or guardian litigation. If there's enough money in the probate or the litigation, it can get ugly, and people start fighting over money, and you need to be able to track money. So personal, there's some pictures of me up there. Over years, me in Afghanistan, 2010-11, and my daughter's wedding in September. And that is That is me, not the child that I owe child support for. Next page. And that's Amanda. So Amanda's here. She's my representative here, and she's a notary. And what's the other word you always use? A notary and?
Oh, I handle apostille.
Yeah, an apostille. So any questions? How does she fit? She's my representative here at the St. Petersburg BNI, and she's out promoting the firm in the St. Petersburg area. Any questions, comments, concerns, emotional outbursts? All right, guys.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce Dawn Cesare of OSI Inspection Services. Dawn and Brian have a family-owned business. They are master inspectors. That is their son Peyton, who joined OSI several years ago. Brian and Peyton are both master inspectors. They have been in business here for about 35 years. Originally, Dawn was born and raised in Miami Beach, came here, started their company, and they had, prior to getting into home inspections, they had building experience in the trades, building residential and commercial. So they have a long history in this business, and we want to welcome Dawn.
Mary Ann. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mrs. and yes. As Mary Ann said, we have a family-run business based out of St. Pete for over 35 years. I've never been accused of being a low talker or really a slow talker. I'm going to try to slow down a little bit, but I've been in BNI for over 11 years. And I wouldn't keep renewing if it wasn't a very positive thing on every level. And as you hear me every week, what really sets us apart is we are 3 generations of building contractors. Most people, when they hire a home inspector, don't realize that that home inspector probably doesn't have any actual experience in building or construction. They get certified in a classroom or in front of a computer, and that's fine. But when you're going to be buying probably one of your biggest investments and you really want to know what's going on with that property, you want to look for somebody that has the most experience, the most knowledge, so that they can educate and inform you on what's going on with that property. I'm going to be talking, as you can see, as the slides go on. If you can take a look at, what we do and what we offer. We offer pre-listing inspections when you're going to buy a home, when you're going to sell a home, when you're going to build a home. We come out on construction draw inspections when you're building a home, and they do it in phases. We come out, we look over the plans, we check over what's going on at the time and make sure everything is what it is before you would pay that next draw. We do insurance inspections that I try to throw in the meetings at the end. I'm passing around on both sides just some actual testimonials of people that we've done these wind mitigations for that have saved real money on their homeowner's insurance. And I can love to speak to any one of you about that. Please give me a call. I could go in depth with you on that because it is a law. This law requires every insurance carrier in the state to give us homeowners these discounts on features that already exist. Most homes have something that's already existing that will get you a discount on your homeowner's insurance. If you have hurricane protection, hurricane windows, hurricane doors, you can get additional discounts called the opening protection credit. But most homeowners don't have that. They have something existing that will get them a discount. We do all types of properties, really from manufactured homes to the 60,000 square foot property, commercial inspections. We are extremely thorough. You really take the time to because we know and we understand that this is a huge investment. You're gonna be moving into a property with your family. We really care about that. We're family. We wanna feel good that when we are doing an inspection, we're able to, again, provide information so that client knows what's going on with that property. We have drone capability that we use for a lot of our property inspections. And, people seem to like that a lot. We don't know how long we're gonna be on a property inspection because we're there for as long as it takes. We don't look at a property, say, oh, we should be in and out of here in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. If we need to be there 3 hours, however long it takes, we will be there. Because again, we don't do a walkthrough. We don't do a walkthrough, take a checklist, check it off as we go. We go deep. We wanna make sure this is somebody's biggest house, biggest investment. This was a member of our group, Jan Russell. She loved this house. She was so excited about this house. She thought it was her dream home. Unfortunately, when we did the inspection, we found a number of issues, a lot of them having to do with what was going on underneath the crawl space. If it is a wood frame home with a crawl space, we suit up, they get encapsulated, and they go under the house. When you go under a house, you can find all kinds of things. And then we have to explain it to our clients. We have experience and know how to talk to clients because we've been doing this an extremely long time. And again, we're there to educate and inform that client. We never tell anybody what to do. It's a very personal thing, real estate. It's a very personal thing. Mary Ann will tell you, every client is different and you get to know that client. So it's very personal to us. And that's why I really try to express the fact that when you are hiring a home inspector and you're buying a piece of property, don't assume that inspector actually has building experience or construction experience. You want somebody that knows what they're doing, and that's who we are. That's why I keep coming to BNI and expressing how we do our business, present our business. This was something that happening, this was a re-inspection. So on insurance inspections, there's certain things that will cause a red flag to come out with an insurance company. And they're usually on something called a 4-point insurance inspection. When we go out and do a home inspection, most clients have 3 separate reports. They have the property inspection, which is the full inspection on everything going on with that property. And then they have 2 separate insurance reports, a 4-point and a wind mitigation. And a 4-point you have to have in order to get homeowners insurance. It used to be 50 years, but now we just had a client, their house was only 8 years old and they're requiring a 4-point. So sometimes there's 4-point issues on an inspection and they have to get them fixed. And in that last clip, that was a re-inspection that said that that the repairs were made. In the past, we were able to accept that with some information and a work order. As the years gone by, we have not, because we find that sometimes it's not actually done. So we go out and we make sure everything is what it is, because we have to get our eyes on it and we have to sign off on it. I don't know if these were happening. Well, I can go back to follow you. Thank you, Dr. Mara. So I just like to go to the next one. I do appreciate everybody in this group. Again, I am a long-term member, over 11 years. and the support, and I'm glad we do come together and support each other.
Yep.
And if you take a moment